2024 Western Conference Finals are here, and the stage is set for an epic showdown. It's the battle of the beasts, Luka Dončić leading the Dallas Mavericks against the unstoppable force of Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Get ready for the ultimate clash. Tune in to witness history in the making. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe now for all the highlights and in-depth analysis. The number 3 seed in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves, 56-26, will face the 5th seeded Dallas Mavericks, 50-32, in the 2024 Western Conference Finals. This marks their first postseason clash since 2002, when Dirk Nowitzki outshone Kevin Garnett, leading an elite Dallas offense to a 3-0 sweep over the Timberwolves. Much has changed since that series. For starters, the first round is now a best-of-7 format. Additionally, Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards is no longer an 8-month-old infant. How the Timberwolves got here. After shocking the NBA world by winning the first 2 games of Round 2 in Denver, the Wolves found themselves reeling as the Nuggets stormed back with 3 consecutive wins. This surge was capped by a historic performance from newly crowned MVP Nikola Jokic, putting Minnesota on the brink of elimination. However, as they say about wounded animals, the Timberwolves struck back. In Game 6, they delivered the most lopsided playoff defeat in Denver's franchise history. Then, in Game 7, despite trailing by 20 points on the road at the challenging Rocky Mountain elevation, the Timberwolves mounted a remarkable comeback. They suffocated the Nuggets offense, holding Jokic and his team to just 37 points on 35.9% shooting in the second half. Dominating the glass, securing crucial fourth-quarter buckets from various players, and physically overpowering an exhausted opponent, Minnesota dethroned the defending champions. With the top-seeded Thunder falling on the other side of the bracket, the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert, now hold home court advantage in the conference finals. The Wolves are just 4 wins away from reaching the championship round, a level of success that the franchise has never achieved. How the Mavericks got here. By winning the chess match and the dice rolls, Dallas secured their spot in the Western Conference Finals. In the second round, the Mavericks tailored their defense by switching screens, showing help, and packing the paint. This strategy took away driving lanes for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, leveraging their size to disrupt Oklahoma City's drive and kick game. Coach Jason Kidd's bet that the Mavericks could funnel the ball to complementary players like Josh Giddey, Lugan Stewart, Cason Wallace, and Aaron Wiggins paid off, limiting OKC's scoring ability. Similarly, the Thunder employed aggressive blitzes and traps to limit the Mavericks' stars. This approach was effective, as Luka Dončić and Kyrie Irving saw significant drops in their field goal attempts, touches, and usage rates compared to their marks in Round 1 against the Clippers. Coach Mark Daigneault's strategy to force the ball into the hands of complementary players like P.J. Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., and Josh Green aimed to stifle Dallas's scoring. In the final moments of Game 6, with Oklahoma City clinging to a 1-point lead, Washington drew a crucial foul on Gilgeous-Alexander in the corner. He calmly sank 2 free throws to seal the victory, sending Doncic, who battled through a knee sprain suffered in Round 1, and ended the series with 3 consecutive triple-doubles, and the Mavericks back to the Western Finals for the second time in 3 years. Sometimes, when the perfect hand comes along, betting big can indeed take the house. Head-to-head, Minnesota won the season series 3-1, but as is often the case, regular season results can be misleading. All 4 meetings occurred before the trade deadline, when Dallas reshuffled its rotation by adding P.J. Washington and center Daniel Gafford. Additionally, Luka Dončić missed 2 games, and Kyrie Irving missed 3. Of the 5 Mavericks who logged the most minutes against Minnesota during the regular season, only Derrick Jones Jr. and Tim Hardaway Jr. are expected to play significant roles in this series. In the one game where both Doncic and Irving played, they combined for 69 points on 53 shots in a 115-108 victory. This was one of just 6 instances this season where the Timberwolves allowed 2 teammates to score 30-plus points each. The top individual performance in the season series came from Anthony Edwards, who scored 44 points in a late December win. Despite Edwards' scoring prowess, who faced challenges against the length of Derrick Jones Jr., Dallas's primary defensive option against top offensive threats. Listed at 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, Jones effectively defended players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Paul George, and will likely be tasked with guarding Edwards in this series. Expect Edwards, whose regular season performance is likely to earn him his first All-NBA selection, to rise to the occasion. His postseason production, 28.9 points, 6.2 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 1.7 steals per game on .624 true shooting, places him in elite company alongside Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and James Harden. Edwards will be determined to surpass his regular season numbers and lead Minnesota to new heights. Matchup to watch. Who and how is Mike Conley guarding? In a clash of two physically imposing teams, both of whom dominated their round 2 opponents with size and physicality on defense and the offensive boards, the spotlight may fall on the smallest player on the court. If the Timberwolves start all defensive team selection, Jaden McDaniels on Luka Dončić, as they did in both regular season matchups where Doncic played, and Anthony Edwards on Kyrie Irving, then Mike Conley will need to guard a non-guard. It seems unlikely that Wolves coach Chris Finch will assign Conley to P.J. Washington, considering the 6-inch, 55-pound disparity between the 6-foot, 175-pound Conley and Washington, which could lead to Dallas exploiting this mismatch in the post. Instead, Conley is likely to guard Derrick Jones Jr., the Mavericks' lowest usage and least threatening perimeter player. This could give Conley, who has recorded 11 steals and 23 deflections in 10 playoff games, opportunities to disrupt as a help defender. However, his size and the fact that he recently missed Game 5 against Denver with a sore right Achilles tendon will make him a target for the Mavericks. Doncic and Irving are adept at using ball screens to force favorable matchups, and Dallas will likely try to involve Conley in the action by using Jones as a screener. Minnesota faces several options in defending these pick and rolls. They might play them straight, with McDaniels or Edwards dropping beneath the screen while Conley chases over the top, hoping to stay close enough to prevent Doncic or Irving from pulling up the shots. Alternatively, they could switch, trusting Conley to use his intelligence, quick feet, and hands to hold his own against Dallas's top scorers, even if it means conceding some isolation baskets to avoid defensive rotations. Another strategy could involve blitzing the Mavericks' ball handlers, forcing the ball out of Doncic and Irving's hands, even if it risks creating 4-on-3 opportunities for Dallas. If Jones can capitalize on these opportunities, as he did against Oklahoma City and occasionally against Minnesota in the regular season, defending the Mavericks' offense will become a formidable challenge, even for the league's best defense. Conley's defensive responsibilities could also affect his offensive performance. During the regular season, he shot 51.7% from the field and 52.9% from three-point range against Dallas, with a 19-5 assist-to-turnover ratio. In these playoffs, the Timberwolves have scored nearly 11 more points per 100 possessions with Conley on the court. Against Denver, the differential rose to 16.4 points per 100 possessions. Anthony Edwards highlighted Conley's impact when he noted the difference between Minnesota's performances in Game 5 and Game 6 was Conley's return. If Dallas can force Conley to work hard on defense, potentially diminishing his offensive effectiveness, or even bully him to the point of making him a defensive liability, scoring against one of the league's stingiest units will become significantly more difficult for the Timberwolves. Can Luka's playmaking magic bring Dallas to the finals, or will Edwards' explosive power and the Wolves' relentless defense crush the Mavericks' dreams? 2 teams, 1 goal. Who will rise and who will fall? The Western Conference Finals, where legends are made. Share your thoughts and comment below. Thanks for watching.